Hey, Marcus here. Making this video. This is gonna be kind of a long video, but I'm making this video just to talk about a few things. So today, or rather yesterday, but really it was today for real, my high school graduation happened. But I didn't go. And I know you're probably wondering, who the heck doesn't go to their high school graduation? That's crazy. Bitch also. And I can understand why you think that, but for me, I just felt now wasn't a good time to celebrate. I have a lot going on, and I'll feel comfortable celebrating once my naval career begins with the United States Navy. But right now, I just don't feel comfortable celebrating knowing that there's so much to be done. For me, I'm just looking at the bigger picture. And across all my years of all the people I've met, all the school time that I've put in, I never thought it would end this way. And I can't believe I'm saying this too, but I never thought there would reach a day where my mother and I would kind of have an estranged style relationship, which is crazy, but, and I can't believe I'm saying this too, but I will always respect my mother, but I don't really think she really likes me for real. And there's just been a variety of different red flags and other things that suggest it. And, I'm always a respectful guy. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm okay with my mother disliking me, I'll always extend my doors to her, as an adult. If she ever wants to live with me or anything, and the girl that I want and everything, that's fine. But it's okay. As long as I can't believe I'm saying this too, but this is just my personal preference, but I'd really like to have, I can't believe I'm saying this, Korean woman. I've always had an affinity for Korean culture. Even in my diary, I've been studying Hangul and writing it down and practicing. I've been taking classes. I've been doing a lot of different fun stuff with that, and that's really cool. And I'd love to have a Korean lover who I'd later marry, and I'd love for us to have kids too. And my personal desire, I'd like for us to have 2 daughters, but if we have any sons, I'm not gonna push my children away, but in my dreams, I'd like to have 2 daughters. And it's just been such a hard time. This has been the hardest year of my life, if I'm being completely honest. And opening up like this is difficult as a young man, but I've never cried so much in my life as I have with this year. So many different friends that I've let go. So many memories that still linger on in my mind that I still think about. And so many things that I sometimes, or situations that I look at from the past, and I just say to myself, wow, did I really do the best with that? Excuse me. But what I can say is that I cherished every moment through everything. Even on my other YouTube videos, you can see me making stuff where I'm like, cherish stuff and make the most of stuff. And I said that because I always knew this day would come. I always knew there would be a time where everyone else would be away from me and it would just be me and it all by myself. I always knew it. I just didn't know how it would come. I never thought that I wouldn't go to my own graduation. I just never thought that would happen. But it's just that the way things have played out, I just didn't feel comfortable with going. You know, I want to join the Navy as soon as I can. I'm 18 now. You know, if I could have, I would have enlisted the day of my birthday. But I thought I was destined for a different path then. And now I'm adapting to that different path while still holding on to my dream of becoming a sailor and a naval officer. I want to make a full career at the Navy, you know. I'm doing online college. And I'm majoring in information technology with a focus in business analytics. And when I join the Navy, I want to go into IT and make a 4-year career. And with prayers to Jesus, retire with the rank of captain. You know, I want a long nautical career. I love the Navy. I love the ocean. I love exploring. I love nautical things. That's why I love Norfolk so much. And I had dinner with both my parents today since I didn't go to my graduation. You know, I'm just glad that I got to see them both. And you know, another thing, I never wanted to have such a, I hate to say it, but bad relationship with my mother. I never wanted that. But she's just done so many different things across time that suggests that she doesn't like me. But that's okay. You know, I'm not begging for her affection. If anything, I just want my lover's affection. I will always respect my mother. I have my own private reservations about her, but you know, I'll always respect her and honor her, and I think that's what matters most. My father, I'll always respect him too, but I'll always respect him, and I'll leave it at that. You know, with high school, I had so many friends. There were so many different things that I tried, that I ventured on. So many people that I didn't realize it then, but I liked being around. You know, and this is embarrassing to say, but there were so many times that I fell in love with different girls at that school, in my high school, and I would confess to them and everything, and it didn't work out. And that would just devastate me so much, so much. Just so many different instances. And across time, you know, people that I thought were in my circle would say things like, oh, well, it's a shame you're 18 years old, no girlfriend. Something must be wrong, like you must be homosexual or something. And I'm not judging homosexuals, but that's the type of stuff that people in my circle were saying. Which made me feel some kind of way internally, given that I knew how much pain and stuff that I was going through with that. But it's like, that was just being overlooked. But for me, I don't validate myself according to what other people have to say about me. It's always been, what is it that really makes me feel satisfied in my life, you know? And even now, this 18-year-old Marcus in this mindset, even now I'm asking myself, will I really regret not going to this graduation 10, 20, 30 years from now? If the Lord will let me live, you know, will I regret this day not having gone? And honestly, I don't think I will, because this is such an active time in my life. I don't think I'll regret it, you know. I got so much going on. I just really want my I'm sorry. I really want my Korean lover in my life. You know, it's been hard without her. So many times I'll just look up at the night sky and say to myself, I know she's somewhere out there. I just know it. You know, it's just, I got a feeling, and I really believe that feeling that she's out there. And she motivates me to train. She motivates me to study and just achieve, you know. I know my military life will be hard on my family, like my wife and my kids, but it'll allow us to have a good life, and we'll see the world together. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a depressing time. like the loneliness aspect. It's been tough. You know, it's difficult for me to open up to people because I don't really trust certain people. And you're probably like, well, why are you saying this on YouTube? Well, I'm putting this on YouTube because I'm gonna look back on this video years from now and just look at what I've been delivered from and how I've overcome. You know, I just think about all the memories I had, all the people that I met. Now, I don't see any of those people. I mean, and you know, I don't like to say stuff like this, but I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, but at this point in my life, I really don't have any friends. I have myself, I have God, I have the hope of meeting the woman of my dreams, but I really don't have any friends. I mean, even in high school, I didn't go to prom. When I ate lunch, it was me by myself for real. And I'll never forget just one day, just being in the lunchroom. It was just me, like empty table. I was just sitting, I was just scrolling on my phone through old pictures, reminiscent of old times. And it was just me at the table. And if I went to prom, you know, I don't got nobody right now. So if I went to prom, it would have been the exact same way. Me sitting at the table, nobody saying nothing, me not fitting in with the crowd. And it's like I've always been a cut different from everybody else. I've always known it, I've always seen it, I've always experienced it. I don't know why, but I just never really got with everybody else. They just, I don't know. I just didn't fit in with everybody else. And even with the high school graduation, it's like, and the senior events that I didn't go to, it's just like, I'm not missing anything. None of these people are my friends. None of these people. And it would be just like me at school in the sense of just passing by everybody, going about the day, doing what I gotta do, and going home. That's literally all my high school life entailed. I never went anywhere with friends. I never did any of that. You know. And even in my YouTube videos, like when you guys saw me go to like Shenyun, hanging out in downtown Norfolk, movie theater, I do all these things by myself. And it's like, it's not always fun to do stuff by yourself, but sometimes you don't got a choice. I didn't have a choice when I went to those places by myself. Like, you know how hard it is, like, when you're in public places and you see all these couples around you, and you're just asking yourself, is my life situation ever going to get better? Because it just seems like it only keeps getting worse. Like, my relationship with my mother just gone freaking downhill all the way. You know, in this journey, it'll be a short while. Like I said, the 7 years before I can join the Navy. Gotta work a job, pay living expenses here. It's just a lot of stuff on my shoulders. And I just really didn't feel comfortable celebrating because I just know what's coming. I know what I have to face. And, you know, even with going to U.S. Army basic training next month, that's going to be tough, you know. And then coming back and doing these online classes for my undergraduate, and maybe I'll also get my master's in economics. It's going to be a lot of stuff before I can get to my 40-year U.S. Navy career. And that stuff bothers me. What really bothers me the most, though, and this is so embarrassing, but I don't care. I'm just going to talk about it. Like, just being in my room and just being so lonely and just really thinking, is this ever going to get better? Because, I pray to God. I ask him to bless me with the Korean beauty of my heart's desire and all. But sometimes I really ask myself, is this ever going to get better? Like, is this really ever going to change? Am I going to live my life and just be by myself the whole freaking time? Sometimes I really ask myself those questions. And I watch all these K-dramas and these movies, and I love to see these people fall in love with each other. I love to see them build chemistry. And I'm always asking myself, will I ever have that? I don't know how this all is going to end. I never foresaw skipping my own graduation. It's pretty dark, to be honest. But I understand why I did it. And looking back, I'm gonna make it worth it. Sometimes I feel like I failed everyone. Like I've disappointed my parents. Like I've disappointed everyone in my life. Like I failed myself. Sometimes I feel like it's all over. I feel like sometimes I made the wrong decisions. And I've always tried to be someone who can stay calm in stressful situations, but sometimes it just gets so hard that it's difficult for me to stay calm. And, with this romance piece, this is a quick story. I'm not going to drop any names. But, for example, there's this one girl that I was with briefly in my junior year of high school. And I'll never forget that day that she told me she wanted to break up. And I'm the kind of guy, it's like, I'm not like a beggar, and I'm not like, oh, seriously? What's wrong? I was like, okay, if that's what you want, we can do that. That's fine. And then about a day or two later, I was in the cafeteria, and I saw her holding hands with this other guy. And I'm always the kind of guy who, if I need to cry, and I hate to say this out loud, but if I need to cry, I'll just do it behind closed doors. But I actually started crying, first off, they were like standing far, so nobody saw, but I kind of like hit my face and I just started crying right there. And that was one of those moments where I just really thought, dang, how did I fumble the bag on this one? And then when I went to my next class and the teacher was talking, I remember covering my face up again and just crying some more and just thinking, just dang, man. Like, it's never gonna get better. So many different experiences that I've lived through in my life. So many people. And then there was this one girl who I got something for because I liked her, I got her a little gift and brought it to her, told her how I felt. And instead of just saying no and being mature about it, every time she saw me, her and her little entourage would laugh in my face and run away and try to be funny to me and joke in my face and stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, for real though? And then having to come back home and deal with the anguish of somebody telling me, that I'm worthless, stupid, can't do that, no girlfriend, shameful to the family, all this type of stuff that I gotta deal with. And it's like, the stuff, I try not to let it bother me, but the stuff gets to your head at some point. And it was just, I'm gonna be honest. What really bothered me with my mother is the fact that she doesn't feel like I'm competent, and she feels like I'm like below the totem pole. Like when I told her what I was doing, like with the military, she said, "Oh, what do you mean you're doing that? You're not even mechanically inclined." And I quote, she said that. And when she said that, I looked at her. And I didn't say anything disrespectful, but this is already a hard time for me in my life. The one thing that she could have did was at least try to encourage me, because it's tough. Naturally, it's going to be tough. I'm not expecting a cakewalk, but I also need to get mental grit to go through everything I got to go through so that I can get to my real dream, which is the Navy. But she said that, and I just looked at her, and I didn't say anything. Because she always tries to doubt me and belittle me and say stuff. But that one kind of got me, because it's just like, dang. Lost all the people I thought I cared about with school. Lost all the people I thought were my friends. And then I got to deal with this from you too. Wow. Just wow. And I hate to bring this up, but there was another girl that I really liked. And she led me on, because this was around Christmas of last year. I had got her a gift. And I told her not to open it till Christmas. Turns out she opened it that day, and then had me believing all the way up till Christmas that she was into me. And she would throw me like little hints and stuff. And then one day I was with my dad, and we were going back to my house. And I got a message on my phone saying, "I need to talk to you when you get back home." And I was like so freaking happy. I'm like, finally, I'm about to win. I never win with women. Thank God. This is my chance. So I get back home. I call her on FaceTime. I'm like, I gotta get ready, man. This is about to happen. I'm about to get a girl, finally. So I get on the phone. And I have never in my life been humiliated on that level. But I quote, this girl told me to tell myself I am strong and that I am happy. And then she went on to say, "I'm not the girl for you. It's not you, it's me." Like the classic stuff. And I hate to say this, but and this isn't just any random girl. This girl had my same birthday. I've known her for years. I went on 2 dinner dates with her. I thought we were a match made under the heavens, and I thought she was about to finally accept me. But no, rejected again. And, I started crying right there. It was a FaceTime call, but I had the camera away, and I just was, like, silently crying to myself. But I was just like, dang, another loss? Like, just dang. And then and that's another thing. I hate telling my family about whenever I'm trying to get with a woman. Because then they keep asking about, like, how is she doing? And it's like, oh my God, now I gotta deal with telling my family that this didn't work with this woman. Now I'm about to get trolled by my mother, because she loves to troll whenever stuff. And it's just like, what do I even do? That one hurt though. That one really hurt, because she and I had the same birthday. Like, I thought that was really cool. But yeah. And then with the disappointment factor, it's like I feel like I failed my mother. I feel like I failed my grandfather. Like, I'm not, like with the graduation and stuff, I didn't do it to spite anyone. I just did it because I felt like it wasn't the best thing to do for me. I didn't want to get press conference style people asking me questions every 5 seconds about what my next move is. People critiquing me for what my next move is. You know, I had to adapt to when I made the decision that I did with the part-time army, as I call it. And I have adapted, and my plan will work in Jesus' name. But it's hard. It's hard when you feel like there's no one else around you. It's hard when you're in bed at night and you just wish that you had somebody to hug you and tell you that it's going to be okay. It's hard. Because I just want the woman of my dreams to console me sometimes, you know? Like, I may look fine and smile and stuff, but some days it's really hard for me, you know? Seeing all these other people with their lovers and stuff, and then there's me sitting there just being disconnected from everybody else, depressed, feeling like it'll never get better and stuff. But I have faith it'll get better. It has to. And, you know, I'm not making this video to trash my mother or anything, but I'm just stating facts. I mean, she may not like me, but I'll always open my doors. Because I didn't want that. But I'm just telling you, that day, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking back. But it's gonna get better. You know, this is 18-year-old Marcus Delk. But I'm always thinking, how will 25-year-old Marcus feel? How will 37-year-old Marcus feel? How will 45-year-old Marcus feel? How will 50-year-old Marcus feel? Will 60-year-old Marcus be good? What about 70-year-old Marcus? Like, will I still be athletic in my 50s? Will I still be me? You know, will I still love what I love? Does my dreams really come true? Do I really become a sailor and a naval officer? Do I really marry a Korean woman? So many thoughts just go through my head like 1,000 miles a minute. It has to get better. It just has to. I really hope it does. You know, it wasn't easy for me to say some of these things that I've said today on this video, on this camera. I'm gonna look back and just really be glad that it all worked out. With this whole graduation thing. Sometimes I guess I'll ask myself, did I really make the right choice by not going? But at the end of the day, given that I know what my bigger picture is, I think I'll understand why. I'm just thinking back on the people from high school. I just really want a woman. I'm so tired of being by myself. Like, it's so annoying to just want that affection, you know, that consolidation? Consolement? That I want to feel her warmth against my body. I want to hear her soft voice just ease my stress. I want her so bad. And I have faith that we'll be together. Because I pray. So, thanks for watching this video. I'm gonna come back to this video like 15 years from now, 7 years from now, 20 years from now, even more. And just say, wow, that was really me. But thanks for watching, older Marcus, and to anyone else who decided to watch this for this long. I hope you have a good day, and thanks for watching.